So, how do you access all of these different things that's going on within Google search results? Well, the first one is Google Places. It's now called Google Places. It used to be called Google Local Merchant Center. And it's all to do with Google Maps. So that's you registering your business, and once you do so, you give a specific location. Then when somebody searches, for your industry in that specific location, then potentially your listing can come up at the side of the maps. Registering with Google Places, as it's now called, is totally free. Anybody can do it. And if you've got any kind of business, service business, product-based business, offline business, doesn't matter, that could benefit from local traffic, you absolutely should be registered on Google Places. And I encourage you to leave the seminar and absolutely go and do it if you haven't already done it, because you will get traffic coming through to your site just using Google Places. Google Natural Search, this is the organic results. So this is what search engine optimization is all about. And I'm going to go into a little bit more detail on natural search. It's still the most trusted part of Google. That's where most people will go to. But it is starting to decrease slightly as Google now puts up these other offerings. Pay-per-click, it's very, very easy to do. Go onto Google AdWords, sign up for an account, give them your credit card details, and create your ads, and literally within minutes, within hours, you can have an advert appearing when somebody types in specific keywords and people coming to your site. And if you've got a brand new site, absolutely, it's a very valid way of getting traffic to your site straight away. It's very easy to do. It's very easy to get wrong because Google are a little bit naughty in the way that they give you the keyword options, and Google AdWords is probably a whole day I could tell you about. But by default, whenever you type a particular keyword in, then Google defaults to this thing called a broad match. So anytime that word appears, Google will show your advert, and very, very quickly your advert can be shown many, many times. And if you're not careful on how to manage your budgets, then you can spend lots of money. And even spending £30 a day, you think, oh, that's not a lot of money. I'll try a campaign spending £30 a day, and suddenly you've spent a couple £100 a week, and suddenly at the end of the month you spend the best part of £1,000. And because your ads aren't maybe targeted specifically as they could be, then £1,000 is gone and wasted just like that. And you're like, whoa, what happened? What happened there? A bit of a train wreck. And that you put off Google AdWords for life. Google AdWords does work, but you've got to be very careful how you actually do it. Google Images. Obviously, if you're in the photography business or any kind of business that has got a very visual product, then absolutely, people do go into Google Images and then will click on those images and come through to sites. So if you've got anything that can be represented by an image, if you're selling anything that's image related, then absolutely, you should be looking to get as many of your images indexed on Google. It's again, it's probably another strategy and another day's lecturing, but just to make you aware that it is possible. News results. So how did the Associated Press and the Mirror and the Telegraph, whatever, get to the top of Google? Well, they're basically publishing content that Google is picking up to do with obviously relevant topics and keywords, and that's what's actually getting them there. There's nothing to stop you from producing your own news releases, PR pieces, and submitting them to press sites and blogs and stuff like that. And there's actually sites that will do it for you. There's a couple of sites. One's prweb.com. WebWire is another one. Those sites will actually take your content and syndicate it out on your behalf. The live search, so that's basically getting your content onto Twitter. And I say later in the year, Facebook, MySpace, if that's your thing. So just getting your content out there and being active on Twitter, being active on Facebook could, again, potentially get you onto Google's search results pages. And video, I said, we saw earlier there was a couple of videos at the bottom of the search results for Barack Obama. Google owns YouTube, and Google's putting a lot of emphasis on video and video content. I think Jamie's going to talk a bit about video content, and you've already seen Mike show the Converse stuff there. And video, it doesn't have to be professional quality. There's plenty of little high definition webcams and cams around these days for a few £100 that you can start to produce good enough quality and get it up there onto YouTube. And there's other sites as well. And potentially then you could be picked up on Google. So there's lots of different ways that you can actually get to the top of the search engines. And blogs, of course. You know, Google actually now has a special link that will only give results from blogs. And again, Google gives a lot of credence to information it finds on blogs, even though they are, you know, obviously just people's opinions. So again, if you're not putting, you know, you're not putting content on blogs, you know, you're missing a trick. And Google actually updated its algorithm there. It did a major update to its algorithm earlier this year. It was codenamed Google Caffeine. And the result of that has been that if you're not updating content on your website on a regular basis, then Google is going to lose interest in your site. It's as simple as that. It's all about recency and frequency. And the big winners, you know, are sites that have got blogs in them, or maybe they're built around a blog. Because what you do on a blog, you update it on a regular basis. And so blogs are definitely very, very important things. And certainly as a company, you know, we wouldn't design a website unless somebody said absolutely not, that wouldn't now have a blog incorporated into it, because it's a great way of getting content onto your site and keeping Google interested in coming back.